You're scrolling through your phone, clearing out old files, when you find it, a video from years ago. You don't even remember recording it. Your thumb hovers over the play button. Part of you is curious, part of you is already cringing, but you press play anyway. And there you are, younger, different hair, different voice, different everything. You watch yourself laugh at something off camera. You hear yourself speak with an inflection you don't recognize. And somewhere in your chest, something tightens. Because that person on the screen has your face and your name. But they don't feel like you. It's like watching a character in a documentary, someone you might have known once, but not you, not the person sitting here right now. And the strangest part? You can't explain why it feels this way. Why looking at your own past feels less like remembering and more like observing a stranger. Here's the thing. This isn't just nostalgia or cringe. There's deep psychology behind why watching old videos of yourself feels so unsettling. So let's explore it. First, we need to understand something fundamental. The person you think you are right now, they're kind of an illusion. We walk through life assuming we're one continuous person. That the you who woke up this morning is the same you who graduated high school, who had their first heartbreak, who made that embarrassing decision we don't talk about. We assume there's a thread connecting all these versions, but psychologically, that's not how it works. Your sense of self is constantly being reconstructed. Your brain takes fragments of memory, current emotions, and future projections, then weaves them into what feels like a continuous story. But the weaving happens in real time. Your identity isn't a finished tapestry. It's a narrative being written and rewritten every moment. So when you watch an old video, you're seeing a version of yourself constructed by a brain that no longer exists. A brain with different neural pathways, different emotional priorities, different ways of interpreting everything. The person in that video was you. But the you that existed then was built by completely different internal architecture. That's why it feels like watching a stranger, because in a very real sense, you are. Let's talk about the most common reaction. You press play, and within seconds, your body contracts. Your face scrunches. You might audibly groan. Everything your past self does feels painfully awkward. But here's what's interesting. That cringe isn't really about the video. It's about the gap between who you were and who you are now. You're watching yourself behave in ways that no longer align with your current identity. And that gap creates psychological friction that manifests as physical discomfort. Psychologists call this self-discrepancy theory. We carry multiple versions of ourselves in our heads. The actual self, the ideal self, the self we think we should be. When we see a past version that doesn't match any of these, we experience emotional discomfort. But here's the beautiful part. Cringe is actually evidence of growth. You can only cringe at your past self if you've changed enough to recognize the gap. That discomfort proves you've evolved. You've become someone new. So the next time you cringe at an old video, reframe it. That's not embarrassment. That's proof of transformation. Not everyone cringes. Some people feel something quieter, heavier. They press play and feel profound loss. They look at their younger self and can't stop watching because somewhere in that video is someone they miss, someone they'll never be again. When you watch an old video, you're not just seeing your past face. You're seeing the world as it was, the room you were in, the people around you. Maybe it's from a time when your parents were younger. Maybe it's from a relationship that ended. Maybe it's from a period that felt more hopeful. And even if your life is objectively better now, something about that video triggers deep longing. You're not just missing who you were. You're missing the world that existed around that version of you. There's a recognition here that time only moves one direction. The person in that video is gone. No amount of remembering brings them back. And you're the only one who can mourn them. But this grief isn't just about the past. It's about recognizing that the you sitting here now will also one day be a stranger in someone's old video. This version of yourself is also temporary, also moving toward becoming someone else's memory. Some people feel nothing at all. Not cringe, not grief. They watch with clinical detachment, like observing footage of someone they never knew. Sometimes this disconnection comes from significant personal transformation. If you've undergone major life changes through therapy, recovery, or natural growth, the person you were before might genuinely feel like someone else. But sometimes disconnection is protective. If your past contains pain, your brain might create distance from those memories. The person on screen becomes unreal. And you remain protected from whatever feelings might arise if you truly connected. If this is you, it might be worth asking, is this disconnection comfortable? Does it serve me? Or is there something underneath I've been avoiding? Your brain is constantly changing. Every experience reshapes your neural architecture. New connections form. Old ones weaken. The brain you have now is physically different from the brain you had years ago. This means the person who recorded that old video was operating with different neural hardware. Their brain processed information differently. When you watch the video, you're seeing the output of a brain that no longer exists. Then there's memory itself. We think memory works like a recording, but memory is reconstructive. Every time you recall something, your brain rebuilds it using current knowledge and emotions. Your memories of who you were are already distorted. When you watch an old video, you see actual past, not the softened version you've been remembering. That discrepancy creates a jarring sensation. The video is too real, too different from the edited version in your head. There's also what psychologists call the end of history illusion. People consistently believe they've changed a lot in the past, but won't change much in the future. We assume we've arrived. That who we are now is who we'll always be. Old videos shatter this illusion. They force us to confront that we'll keep changing, that the person watching this video will also one day be unrecognizable. So what do we do with all this? How do we make peace with the fact that our past selves feel like strangers? Maybe the answer is embracing what we might call temporal multiplicity, the idea that you are not one person but many, that your identity is an anthology, not a single story, that every version of yourself across time is real and valid, even if they don't feel connected. This doesn't mean loving every version. Some made mistakes. Some held beliefs you now find embarrassing. You can acknowledge these past selves without endorsing them. You can learn from their failures without feeling chained to them. But you can also appreciate them, because without them, you wouldn't exist. Every version of yourself was a necessary step. They were all doing their best with the brain they had, the knowledge they had, the emotional resources they had, and they succeeded because they became you. So the next time you watch an old video and feel that strange disconnection, sit with it. Don't run from the cringe. Don't drown in grief. Try to see the person on screen with compassion. They didn't know what was coming. They didn't know who they would become. Then extend that same compassion to yourself. The you watching right now will also one day be a stranger in some future self's recording. This version of yourself is also temporary, also on its way to becoming someone new. You are not one person. You are a series of people linked across time, each handing the baton to the next. Watching old videos is just glimpsing the runners who came before, the strangers who somehow became you. So which type are you? Do you cringe, grieve, or disconnect? Maybe all three, depending on the moment. Whatever your response, it tells you something about your relationship with time and identity. Be kind to your past selves. They did their best. And be kind to your present self, too. Because someday, someone will press play on a video of you right now. And if you've lived this version of yourself well, maybe, instead of cringing, they'll simply smile and whisper, "Thank you."